The new and fresh session of Issb 151 PMA long course will start from the 12th of December 2022 under the supervision of Wing Commander retired ex-Deputy President Issb Rifaqat Ali Khan. The other teams are Major Retired Ahmad ex-GTO, Major Retired Shah Jahan Khattak, Major Kamran Psychologist. Now, I tell you the reasons of the establishment of Issb as an introductory lecture. The selection of the right person for the right job and to predict his behavior under odds has always been an intricate process. Especially for a military organization, the stakes are higher than profit or loss. Military leaders are required to possess special abilities, which makes them different from managers and entrepreneurs. In Pakistan, Issb is performing the important job of selecting future leadership for the Defence Forces of Pakistan. The present election system for defence owes its origin to the World War II. The selection of the officers in the British Army was based on recommendation from the commanding officers, interviews and written examinations. The system worked until there was a large supply of good human resources and minimal attention. During World War II, the resources began to dry up quickly. With increase in number of casualties and the system became ineffective to handle large number of candidates who could meet rigorous training and harsh field requirements. In 1942, the British took a revolutionary step by establishing the new type, War Office Selection Board. This board employed more scientific and modern methods of selections based on extensive research and experimentations. In the new setup, selection board office comprises of deputy president, psychologist and testing officer. The board conducted 3 to 4 day examinations and only selected the best suitable candidates. The new setup became instrumental in identifying the potential officers and screening out on undesired candidates. In war scenarios, these boards made their mark by stimulating continuous flow of good material to the army and so won the confidence of the Royal Army. In February 1943, the British established first such board in India after bringing some changes according to local environment. At the time of partition, 2 such boards came to the share of Pakistan and started functioning at Rawalpindi. In 1952, the 2 boards were amalgamated into what we now call as Inter-Services Selection Board, commonly known as Issb, and it was established at Kohat. Later, with the increase in induction in Pakistan Defence Forces due to the changed threat scenario, 2 Issb detachments were opened in Gujranwala and Malir in 1984 and 1987 respectively. To encourage candidates appearing from Balochistan, a mobile detachment was also established for Quetta in 1999. Issb is fulfilling the sacrosanct responsibility by selecting potential officers for the Defence Forces of Pakistan. The present capacity is to test a maximum of 450 candidates for a batch of 5 days, including the arrival day, thereby having capacity of testing about 35,000 candidates in a year. Besides selection, the existing system is evaluated time and again by conducting regular analysis and follow-up studies. This helps in bringing a continual improvement in the selection system and improving the selection standards. The reliability of the selection system can be assessed from the fact that wastage ratio in different academies is around 7.3% only. Issb follows a 3-dimensional selection process. The psychologist dimension uncovers the unconscious of the candidate through carefully designed tests. The GTO dimension observes the candidate's behavior in a group through situational tests, while the deputy dimension analyzes the candidate's intellect, emotional pattern and social behavior through interview. In the selection process, each of the 3 selectors arrives at an independent and isolated conclusion regarding candidates' potentials. During the selection process, each member of the board enjoys equal weightage as an expert of his field, irrespective of his rank and seniority. This is how the final picture of a candidate emerges, reflecting 3 dimensions of his personality. The board then decides about the final result and either recommends a candidate for further training or decides not to recommend a candidate being unfit for military training. The results are communicated to respective services headquarters, who make the final merit list, and thus a fresh batch of cadets reports to their academies at time and date set by the respective services headquarters.